And let me preface those reasons by a little story. And that story is, my husband is a military retiree, and we train tons of soldiers here at Fort Benning. And one of the concepts that kept coming through was do the hard right over the easy wrong.
Amen.
And so we have two areas of concern with Senator Perdue, where we would like him to do the hard right versus the easy wrong. The first is, we want Senator Perdue to hold a town hall so that anyone, regardless of party and of economic status, can have a voice and have his ear, and that he can also communicate with us why he does what he does and what his positions are. We want to be involved and have an open exchange in our government. And so that is where I think that Senator Perdue is doing the easy wrong. He just says, okay, I'm not gonna have a town hall. Whereas we'd like him to do maybe the harder right, and that is have a town hall open to the public where we can have an open exchange of ideas about our representative government. So that's number one. Number two is that, as we've all seen in the past several months, episodes of white supremacy, neo-Nazism, racism have been rearing their heads with more frequency and more intensity. And we want Senator Perdue to do the hard right versus the easy wrong. The easy wrong is just tweeting out a response saying that he's against white supremacy. We want him to put his money where his mouth is and show that he's going to end up on the right side of history and not the wrong side. The hard right would be something like not only saying he's against white supremacy, but distancing himself, being a part of a movement to censure those who would espouse or support white supremacy or neo-Nazi. Whether that is at the city level, the state level, or the executive branch of our federal government. That is why we're here today, to ask him to do the hard right versus the easy wrong. Thank you all so much for being here, and I want to give two other speakers who have to introduce themselves. So thanks all very much for listening, and here's our next speaker. Woohoo!
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yell at you from the back, but first of all, give yourself a hand or a high five to your neighbor for being out here, because this is what democracy is supposed to look like. So first and foremost, I just want to be here because I believe in what you're doing. And I grew up in Columbus, Georgia, so the reason why we're here today is because a part of our government is to have a discourse. And the challenges that we're having in this country is not resolved behind the desk of social media, nor can it be resolved and resolved by us just protesting. But our goal and our objective is today, all those who are coming in to visit, especially those who are serving. I'm the son of the United States Army Ranger. So for me, I understand fundamentally the importance of that access to affordable health care. But for most people around the state, there are 1.8 million people in the state of Georgia that live below or at the poverty line. And for the 1.8 million people in this state that don't have access to affordable health care, to the men and women around this state and children in this state that are living homeless, that have to take state exams, that have to work twice as hard to be able to have an opportunity, that's who we're out here for. There's a quote by a former Republican president, his name is James Garfield, who said it is the responsibility of the people to the character of their Congress. So for us today to stand here, it says a lot, not only about our character, but about what we're standing for. So I want to share three things with you, and then I'm going to pass it on to the next speaker. The first thing is, it's not just about health care, it's about the force of our country. And while I'm not a huge fan of Senator Isaacson, he was bold enough to host the town hall. And anyone in the United States that is privileged enough to be elected and to take a salary from taxpayers show up at a town hall meeting. Our request is to have a dialogue and to have a conversation and to allow him to know that while we might not agree, there's more than one way, and that we're not going to give the President of the United States, whether he's a Democrat, Republican, or independent, a blank check. There's not going to be one person that is elected that is going to not have to answer to the people. So not only is 2018 around the corner, but we're going to continue to express our voices, our concerns, and our livelihood. I mean, all of us could be somewhere else right now. So I want to thank each and every one of you for taking time with your families, workspaces, the time that you're going to be spending doing other things. The second thing that I want to say is that it is very important and incumbent for us to take this energy and not lose momentum. So if you're out there holding up a sign, my next challenge to you would be to go into your communities and make sure people know. The worst thing about, well, let me start with the best thing about, the only thing that I think was good that came out of President Trump being elected is the fact that he woke us up. And all of us now are standing arm in arm. We've been too comfortable for too long. And now there's so many people around this state that are coming out of the woodwork. I was Bernie Sanders' former political director in the state of Georgia. So when I see millennials and young people, not just protesting, but registering to vote, that are standing up, it means so much to see how much progress is making. The last thing I want us to know is that in order for this movement to continue to be sustainable, we've got to make sure we understand the issue. So while you're holding up the sign, my challenge to you is to not only know what your sign says, but know exactly what it is that you're demanding, that you want, that you're holding the citizens accountable. When the door opens and the opportunity comes for us to make research, the opportunity comes for those of us to hold on elected people accountable. We've got to make sure that we show ourselves as transparent. We're going to also hold them accountable, making sure they show up in our demand and not just co-sign the president. They can find money for a wall. They can surely find money to fix healthcare and to fix our country. Thank you all so much. God bless.
Hello, you all can hear me? Am I too loud?
A little louder. Little louder. Little bit. Hi there.
We maxed out here.
Okay.
Okay, I'll raise my voice to you. My name is Steve Gill, and I'm speaking on behalf of ColGay Pride, a part of a
Would you like to know a little about us?
that offers providing support and advocacy for
Here's that. That'll tell you everything right there.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank
I really want to thank Indivisible for Columbus for putting this together. I'm really jazzed to be invited here, and I thank all of you for participating. You're beautiful people. Now, we all know that in the Trade Center right now, Senator Perdue has been glad-handing to have his fans, paying lip service to donors, and handing it up to the local who's who. To be clear, the Leadership Forum does not merely select random people in leadership. It also celebrates. So by opening the forum, Perdue celebrated for his congressional service, which begs the question, what can one say about Senator Perdue's brand of leadership thus far? What can one say about his leadership when many constituents have to resign themselves to the fact that they were represented by someone who does not acknowledge them for who they are or who they love? What can one say about his leadership when the interests of many constituents are not respected, neither in theory nor in practice, in the name of justice and equality? What can one say about his leadership when he caters to his conservative base, operating under the base assumption that folks can't or won't change? Could he not take this opportunity as a senator, through speeches and votes, to inform people, to assure them that there is nothing to fear, to urge them to love and respect their fellow man, to impress upon them that all are equal under the law and within society? What can one say about his leadership when many constituents write to him, submit and sign petitions to ask him, please stand up and represent us, requesting that he leave us be, or worse yet, pleading for him to stop hurting us? Perhaps if Senator Perdue aspired to quality leadership, then he would have thought hard about the company he keeps. If he wanted to perform sound political service, then he should have sought out a positive model to emulate. Maybe he could have sought the patronage of a respectable leader. Or maybe he should have endeavored to break the mold. If he had wished to break from his congressional predecessor and listen to all of his constituents, then he has failed thus far. If instead he wanted to be just as blind to injustice, inequality, and intolerance, then he has exceeded expectations. This is not leadership. This is sycophancy, demagoguery, or at best complicity. With all due respect to the other folks participating in this leadership forum, an opening by Senator Perdue reduces it to farce. As for his brand of leadership, we deserve better, Columbus deserves better, the state of Georgia deserves better, the United States of America deserves better.
Woo! Yes! Woo!
So in the name of LGBT folks, people of color, women, people with disabilities, the aged, the infirm, immigrants, Native Americans, Muslims, and the list goes on, Senator Perdue, we want equality, and we want it now.
Woo!
Thank you very much.
Woo-hoo! Kannon.
Thank you.
Kannon.
Thank you.
Kannon.
Yeah. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, my name is Kannon Haskins, and I'm a retired general practitioner from Manchester, Georgia, just up the road. And I wanted to talk a little bit about healthcare today. I recently ran across an edition of the Columbus Ledger from 1974. The date was 8th of August, 1974. Does anybody know why that date is important?
No.
Well, that's the day that President Nixon resigned from office, stating that he was resigning due to the fact that the base of his support in Congress had eroded to the point where he could not have backing for the crucial decisions that confront the president. Our current president seems to be facing the same dilemma. Our current president has claimed so often in his campaign speeches that he would make health care affordable to everybody, that it would be great, it would be better, it would be the envy of the world, and on and on and on. But he has failed to deliver on his promise, and he blames everyone. The Democrats especially, but also members of his own party. Senators McConnell, McCain, Murkowski, and Collins, blaming everyone but himself, everyone else's fault. Healthcare is complicated. Senator John Sidney McCain III is a Vietnam veteran and a war hero. He is a man whom I admire and respect, although I may not agree with him on many issues. Days after having his skull drilled open for a brain biopsy that confirmed the diagnosis of brain cancer, he returned to the Senate chambers on the 27th of July to call his colleagues out, demanding that our elected officials work together to solve our health care problems. Listen to the man. He is staring down what is most likely a death sentence. Great men and women lose their distractions of day-to-day living when they're facing death. They know that they have nothing to lose by saying what is right and what must be said. And they see things more clearly because we are convinced. A person with a conscience is not thinking of what is popularity. They are thinking of how to make the world that they live in a better place. Republicans, senators, along with Senator Collins in Maine, Murkowski in Alaska, stood up against the power of on this date, Senator McCain said about the president that the Senate and the House are not the president's subordinates. We are his people. Our senators from Georgia our country is well past the point of the on to healthcare. Healthcare coverage in our great nation, the coverage is antiquated, and healthcare is expensive. But by the way, did you know that neither Blue Cross or Blue Shield are the largest providers of healthcare in the U.S.? Who do you think is? Medicaid. As of July 2017, Medicaid insures 77 million lives in these United States.
Wow.
Medicare Part A and B covers 55 million, and the military covers at least 1.3 million. Well, think about it. That means that 41% of the citizens of this country are already covered with government insurance. It's here. It's here to stay. My wife, recently I took her to the emergency room in Columbus. Valerie, raise your hand. There she is. She received excellent care, but the ER bill was $4,000, of which she was billed $580. Why is that? That's because she has insurance at a cost of $14,800 a year. People cannot afford $14,800 a year private insurance. We need to have a program sponsored by our government to cover people's health care. In our country, health care is linked to employment or lack thereof. And unlike many other Western nations, health care in our country is not viewed as a right. It is quietly viewed as a privilege. It is not a privilege. When the Declaration of Independence was written, the words that are still true to this day, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men, but today we must add women as well, are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Life is right there. In 1776, the colonial life expectancy was 35 to 40 years. What do you think it is today?
68.
Higher.
75.
Higher.
80.
Lower.
78.
Between 78 and 80, we have 79.3 years. Had the founders of this great nation known that medical knowledge and care would extend human life beyond the limits of imagination, they would have ensured that health care is a right in and of itself.
That's right.
Did you know that George Washington required health insurance to be provided by all of the sailors, all of the captains at the beginning of our country? Health care is a right in and of itself, and I hope in my lifetime I will be able to see that dream come true. Is the Affordable Care Act perfect? Absolutely not. But it is something that no other legislation on health care has done since 1965. It makes health care affordable to those who could not afford it otherwise. In 2013, the year before the implementation of the ACA, also known as Obamacare, there were 44 million citizens who lacked health coverage. With the implementation of the ACA in 2014, that number dropped to 27 million, a difference of 17 million. My wife, Valerie, who has interviewed numerous individuals whose lives were improved by the Affordable Care Act. Some of whose lives were saved by the ACA. She sent a video up to Senator Perdue's office. We've never heard a response. The Affordable Care Act is a start on getting us on track for universal health care. Our nation is the wealthiest in the planet. And by the way, it's the only planet in our solar system that we know that can maintain human life. That's another story. What should we demand of our lawmakers regarding health care? That's actually quite simple and not by I have a prescription based on numbers and personal experience both as a physician and a patient. Here they are. Number one, the government should pay for preventive health care. Why? It's fiscally responsible. It's less expensive to prevent a disease than to treat it once it gets developed. That includes getting cancer screening, colonoscopies, mental health and substance abuse counseling, mammograms, annual blood tests, well child exams, prostate exams, birth control, etc., etc. Number two, we must keep the least popular part of the Affordable Care Act, which is the individual and the employer mandate. I know that turns a lot of people's stomachs, but listen to what I have to say about that. Switzerland, Singapore, and Germany have achieved universal coverage and made insurance affordable, even for their citizens with the highest health care costs, by instituting an individual mandate. But one major difference, though, is that unlike the ACA, the mandates instituted by these countries are reinforced with penalties for non-participation, thus ensuring that lower-cost enrollees who are generally healthier individuals balance out the cost of the others who require more medical resources. It is possible to do that today. We have individual mandates here in the U.S. Yes, if you're over 65, you sign on the Medicare. If you choose not to pay for the Medicare, if you go on later, you will pay a penalty. That is an individual mandate, and it works. It funds Medicare. Do not defund Planned Parenthood. Woo! The average normal delivery of a baby can run $8,000, and a C-section can cost as much as $16,000. Planned Parenthood, and I've talked with their representatives, they spend much of their resources in pregnancy prevention, and defunding it will result in thousands of unintended pregnancies. Yeah, that's true. Thousands of unintended pregnancies, and it will eventually cost more. Guess what? Cut down on the paperwork. How many people go to the doctor's office and have to fill out the same damn forms over and over again with your medical history? Then you get referred to another doctor. Same thing. We need to streamline our system. That is up to our government to do that, because the government has imposed these particular restrictions. 20% of our citizens account for 80% of the What illnesses or conditions do these people have? They are not exotic. They include diabetes, heart disease, mental health problems, cancer, and more. If we eliminate Medicaid, if we cut back on Medicaid, if we reduce Medicaid, you and I will be paying for it by paying more when we go to the hospital. It's a matter of fiscal responsibility. And finally, we must demand of our legislators that they interview and talk to healthcare professionals before creating a bill that has to do with healthcare. It is not up to lawmakers to know what they pretend to do. So, I thank you for your time. Let's have a great rally.
Thank you, Kannon.